This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings 8 to 9:30 or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombarnardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
My first question of the day, ladies and gentlemen, is anybody happy? That's what I want to know. You ever, when you watch the TV news or read the newspapers, can you ever find anybody that's happy?
No, not super easy.
No, it's not.
No, it's not easy to find.
You guys got anybody? Anybody's happy?
Anybody? I mean, the only person I can think of that's probably pretty happy today is Tim Walz. Other than that,
Tim Walz pretty happy.
Yeah. I mean, I assume getting like a vice president nomination, you get pretty happy.
Well, if you get elected, you get pretty happy because
Yeah.
But if you don't get elected, then it's depressing as hell, I suppose.
I saw a clip of Katie Ledecky on like Sesame Street. She was hanging out with Elmo and Cookie Monster. They all looked pretty happy.
Yeah.
Oh, she was on Sesame Street?
Yeah, I think it was more just like they filmed something in Paris because it was like there was like really no set and it was just kind of like a let's ask her some questions while we eat cookies type of thing. But they all looked like they were having a fun time. So that was like the only happy TV I've seen in a while.
Yeah, and I feel like there's more wholesome stuff that's being circulated, especially with the Olympics and everybody winning medals and whatnot. I saw a clip of I don't even know what event it was, but there were two girls, I believe, from Italy standing on the podium biting their medal. And then there was a lady that was,
I think, Chinese.
Yeah, there we go. And so obviously language barrier, doesn't really know what they're doing. She like looks at them, sees they're both like biting theirs, and then she like looks at hers and starts to bite hers because she didn't want to be left out.
Yeah.
And so like wholesome moments like that, I feel
that's wholesome, is it?
Yeah, it's nice. Just people interacting with each other, being people. She doesn't know what they're doing or why they're doing it, but I don't want to be left out. I'm gonna bite my medal too.
So you missed the big one though.
Oh, what's that?
Where the two Americans bowed to the gold.
Oh, that was
winner.
cool too. Yep.
Yeah, was that
cool?
Simone.
Hell yeah.
Simone Biles and Jordan Child.
Yeah, who are like probably the two most notable, other than like Suni Lee, and like considered like the Jordan of their sport. For them to be like, oh no, she's better than us at this event. But that was pretty cool.
There's an NFL player who's not too happy about it, and he's catching hell for it.
Oh, jeez.
Please tell me it's Harrison Butker.
It's God. Who was it again? I can find it. It's one of the lead stories this morning. As a matter of fact, he's a DB, I believe, for Dallas. I think defensive back for Dallas. Yeah, you could. I don't know. People are very pissed off at him, and he said no. A lot of people did agree with him, though. I guess too that you shouldn't be bowing to other countries, or I don't know who. I don't watch the Olympics. I don't give a rat's ass what they do.
That seems like a very minor thing to like let ruin your day and whatnot. You know, it's something that happens, I guess, with winter and summer every 2 years, and these people train. It's like, you're just showing respect to other countries. Just say it's the same thing as like when they stand there and listen to the U.S. national anthem when it plays, more than frankly anybody else's most of the time.
That's because we win more than other people.
Yeah, and so when other people win too, you got to
Marlon Humphrey.
Marlon Humphrey, that's who it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't like Marlon now? Is that the plan?
No, I mean I don't. He's a fine player.
He's a fine player
to his opinion, but he tweeted and said this is literally disgusting.
Well,
I'd say that's a little dramatic, Marlon.
I saw us play against the Eagles last year. I know what disgusting is.
Yeah, there you go. Was he an Eagle?
No, I just assumed if he said he's a cowboy.
Yeah, he's a cowboy and former former Baltimore Raven.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. So the United States has now taken the lead in medals. Is that correct?
Let's see.
That's what I thought I found this morning, that they've taken the lead in the medals, maybe just the gold medal count or something. I don't know.
It looks like, yes, the U.S. leads all nations in total medals with 86 compared to, it looks like China, which they're 20 back at 60. And then they've edged out China in the gold medal category with 24, which is the most of all countries. China has 22.
United States kicking ass. That's all I got to say. Right.
I'm really glad the whole one-sided beef with Australia is now over.
The one-sided beef with Australia. That's right. It was. Yeah, that went on for a while, didn't it? But
the first few days.
There's some interesting stuff in the news this morning. That of course was the number one thing that popped up when I hopped on the internet this morning. And look, if he's upset with it, that's his business. Good for him. He's got a different life. People got to understand that we all live different lives, and if he's pissed off about it, he's a very competitive guy. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me one way or the other.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'm sure there's people that he plays against in the NFL that he says they did a good job and whatever else, and so it's a little hypocritical for him to like, oh, they can't show respect to their opponent.
Why is that hypocritical? Why do you got to go after your brother?
That's what it is. Like, how are you upset
God.
that two people were like, yeah, we've competed against this person forever. We think she's great. She did a good job. We're going to clap for her.
Okay, so can two black men ever get along? That's my question. No, it's not happening.
Nope, not unless it's February.
Not while bowing to other countries is happening. That's for sure.
Right.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I understand. That's the whole deal. I watched a lot of television last night, just trying to catch up on, who's running with who and who's doing this and who's doing that. And some people are ecstatic and other people are pissed off. And I have one political position. I just decided, whoever wins the presidency, you win it. You got voted in, as long as you don't cheat to do it. Obviously, I don't. Do you think that both sides have been cheating for a long time, or do you think that's bullshit?
Yes. No, I think
you do think so.
Yeah, I think both sides. It's just how blatant and do we get caught? They all push the line a little bit.
I guess so. So I don't. Look, I'm. Both sides will do this, that, and the other thing. So I decided my one political position is. That I even care about is this anti-Semitism is getting really old for me. I grew up in a Black, Jewish, and Catholic neighborhood. I have many friends. I mean, not Josh Arnold. He's not my friend, but
yeah,
many Jews are. I'm getting really sick of this Jew hating deal. I'm disgusted with it. I just don't understand what the hell this is all about, other than the fact, of course, that Jews are white. Is that what this is really all about? They had to pick out some honkies that, they can go after. Is that the plan?
No, if anything, I think it's probably more religious in like.
Do you think so? It's religious?
Which I think it's weird to be like up in arms about anything.
I agree
too, because nobody there's no fact of the matter that like one group is right compared to the other, because there's no way to prove it.
No.
And I don't know. It's
Malone.
It's right? And it's always weird to me when somebody cites their religion as a reason to dislike another. That kind of, in my mind, invalidates your religion a little bit. Like, I'm not saying you're totally wrong, but like, that doesn't seem all that great then.
No.
Religion, I thought, is supposed to be a spiritual, enlightening thing where it helps you relate and, you work with one another and kind of relate to one another. And if that's what it does, it feels like it, you're kind of misguided, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah. Did you see my sign on the front door that I put up there?
The one that told me to turn around and go back home. Yes.
No.
Oh, the other one?
All Jews welcome here. I put that up on the front door. That's just how it. Look, I went through some of that. I told you before. There was a guy in my neighborhood that found out I was Catholic and wouldn't let me walk on the sidewalk in front of his house because I was Catholic. So I've been through that. I mean, you've probably been through some stuff. Well, not. I mean, especially living over in Wisconsin. What are there? 2 black guys in Wisconsin, the whole state?
I think I was like one of 3.
You're one of 3.
The Western Hemisphere of Wisconsin.
The Western Hemisphere of Wisconsin. Do you think is it just the election time that causes people to be so hateful? They just get so wound up over their own bullshit. Why are they so angry and hateful toward other people? I don't get that.
I think it gets amplified this election season.
Yeah.
Like, don't you think?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a year-round sporting event at this point.
Yeah.
So but it definitely the hate definitely gets amped up around election cycles, and whoever wins, it's just going to be 4 more years of the other side bitching about who won. And the good thing is, hopefully, there'll be a fresh 4 years from now. We'll have fresh candidates that we don't have to do this all over again with.
Yeah, not a bad plan. So like I said, I just, you elect whomever you want to elect. I wish you wouldn't cheat to do it. That'd be really great. But I will say this again. All Jews are welcome here at my house, wherever I am. I've been very fond of Jews my whole life, and I just don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear about how do you, first of all, well, Tevin, because people were black, they were hated. So all black people are the same. Is that the plan?
No, like there's some black people I don't like. There's some Jewish people I don't like. There's some demographic of person here that I don't like. But it's not a blanket. Yeah,
Nobody's safe.
Equal opportunity. But yeah, it's not. Anytime you do a blanket statement one way or the other, where it's like all this or all that, it's like okay.
Equal opportunity hater. Yeah. That's just fun.
I was trying to think of one group of people that I would hate, and I couldn't come. Is there one group of people in the world that? And I'm not talking about getting murderers.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the kind of group I'm talking about. But
no, other than Green Bay Packer fans.
Yeah,
not really.
Well, sure.
I've said it before. The people that merge onto the highway at 30 miles an hour.
There we go.
Oh God.
Yes.
But that's a Minnesota thing.
I feel like there's bad drivers everywhere.
Yep. Well, yeah, there are bad drivers everywhere. But let me tell you something. You try to pull on a freeway in Florida at 30 miles an hour, you ain't going to be living long. I'll tell you that.
Or the group of people that like the 394 merger to go into the Lowry Hill Tunnel. Mm-hmm. If you stay in the middle lane and come to a complete stop and wait for somebody to let you in rather than going with the flow of traffic, those are the people that I hate the most.
They do that?
Oh yeah.
They stop in the tunnel?
Like as you're leaving the studio here and before you merge to like go to the right and onto whatever that is 94 to get into the tunnel.
Yeah.
So on 394, because it goes to a one lane to get into the tunnel, people will either do one of two things. Well, three things. They either wait in the long line, like you probably maybe should be doing, or you drive in the middle lane at normal speed and then you wait for an opportunity, you quick slip in and slam on the brakes so you don't hit the person in front of you. But then there's a third special type of person that will stop in the middle of the lane and wait for somebody to come in. So now it's just two lanes of backed up traffic for a mile.
Stop before they go in the tunnel.
Like they stop before they merge into the correct lane to get into the tunnel. Yeah. And it's the worst.
Yeah. And do you drive that every day? That's every day going from here to the Hubbard office because I feel like I've become a pro. I used to be, and I'm going to say a sucker who I waited in the long line. I'd show up so late to the office and it's just like, I'm sorry. That's what my time is just as valuable in my mind, probably more valuable than the person in the Honda Civic. I'm going to stay in the middle lane, but to your point, yes, I'm going to keep pace. And then I look for like the semi or somebody's going to be asleep at the wheel and leave a gap. That's when I cut in.
Yep. And I'm also prepared to not be able to get in and then have to take the little detour and loop around and go the long way. Yes. So yeah, don't stop in the middle of the road, people.
So I take side streets at 70 miles an hour. Works for me. We got to take a break. I just looked at the time. We got to get going here, man. It's time to think about the high taxes in Minnesota and how much you could be saving with a Sioux Falls location. One of the first things Minnesota companies that have expanded or moved to Sioux Falls notice are the lower tax bills. Companies don't pay corporate or personal state income tax, and their other expenses are lower in Sioux Falls too. Those business leaders started at our website, SiouxFallsDevelopment.com, of course. That's SiouxFallsDevelopment.com, where you'll find a lot of the information you need to make the Sioux Falls decision. You'll discover just how quickly and efficiently you can get your operation started in Sioux Falls. Not only will your business be up and running sooner, you'll also be making higher profits. The National Tax Foundation's new index shows Minnesota at number 45, paying too many taxes, and South Dakota's at number 2, one of the best tax climates in the nation. 2024 is the time to make your move to Sioux Falls. Check out SiouxFallsDevelopment.com.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they taught you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
Yeah, what do you think of that action, ladies and gentlemen? Mike Lindell, My Pillow employees, they want to thank our listeners for all your continued support. To thank you, they're having an overstock clearance and new product sale right now for the best prices ever when you use promo code Tom, and you get free shipping on your entire order too. Get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived and won't last long. 6-pack towel sets only $29.98, and take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses and mattress toppers. 100% made in the USA, on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything's on sale, from the brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually do absorb. Very important. They have dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, and so much more. To get the best specials ever, go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146. Use promo code Tom, and you get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146 or go to mypillow.com and use promo code Tom.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Yes, you are, ladies and gentlemen. Judd Zulgad now joining us to stir the pot, cause trouble. Judd, I need your help. I need Kevin's help, your help, and AJ's help. The Vikings have a game on Saturday. Try to find out where you can watch it on television, because you'll get 8 different answers. First of all, half of them say the game's at noon, and the other half say it's at 3 o'clock. They don't even know what time the game's on.
3 o'clock is correct.
So 3 o'clock is correct, okay?
Yep. Channel 9 locally.
Channel 9 locally, so Fox Television.
Yep.
Yes.
And it's so 3 o'clock on Saturday, Fox.
Yep. And they do the for the Vikings preseason games, they do the simulcast where they take the radio broadcast with Paul Allen and dub it over the video.
That's what they do with the number 9?
Yep.
Why?
I would assume it's to save money so they don't have to pay separate TV announcers.
Is that what it is? It's a money deal?
That's a Vikings thing, though. So the Vikings produce the games. And so it's the Vikings who are being cheap, not the station. So
wait a minute, an owner of a team in this state being cheap? Who ever heard of it?
Well, and I'm sorry, but asking anyone to do a simulcast of football, radio, and television is completely unfair.
No, I agree.
You know, I mean, baseball, it's a bad idea, but it's not terrible. Hockey and basketball, we've actually seen, simulcast. It's cheap, but it's happened a lot. But I don't know of any other football. I've never seen a football simulcast until the Vikings, I think, started like 5 years back, and especially in the exhibition season when there's 90 guys on each roster.
They don't do it in the regular season, do they?
No, because it defaults to a national TV package then. But the thing about the preseason games is there's national ones, but a lot of them are just controlled by the teams locally. So it's just a hodgepodge, though, because you're trying to call a game on radio, so you need to describe every play, and then it's also on TV. So it's they probably shouldn't be so cheap, Tom.
No, I agree with that. Paul Allen does a pretty good job, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, it's not his fault. That's not his fault.
No,
he's just trying. He's just trying. More importantly, did I hear you guys talking about the zipper merge?
Yes.
Okay, yes. And Age, you used to get in the line for this? You're not supposed to, you dummy.
Well, no, because the thing is, there's clearly marked signage like 2 miles back that says, hey, if you need to get onto I-94 from 394, get in this lane. Mm-hmm. Because at a certain point, it becomes a double white line that you're not supposed to cross. There's signs that say do not cross, otherwise you're going into like downtown or you're taking a completely different.
No, I know.
So, but to Tevin's point is there's people that like will come to a halt in this lane, which should be still free flowing traffic because it eventually splits off. And so like, if people were better about the zipper merge or got in the lane sooner, then it's not a problem. But the problem is people stop in a lane that shouldn't be stopped in.
Absolutely. But you do know that the closer you get to merging on to 94 from the left lane, the more people can't stop you because it starts to flow. Mm-hmm. There is always, it's like a football running back going through a hole. It opens up. It drives me absolutely crazy. But Tom's right. No one in the state can drive. So what the hell does it matter?
It is some of the worst driving and you grew up here, so you didn't know it.
So true.
But yeah, the driving in this state is literally the other day I was going down 94 and there was a guy in the middle lane doing about 30. Yeah. It's 70, 60, something like that?
Yep.
He's doing 30. Like, what the hell? What's wrong with you?
You nailed it. We grew up here. So
Yeah.
it's so you don't know until you get to, and then you think, oh my God, in Chicago, they're so mean. Actually, no, they're just more efficient.
You know, the other thing about Minnesota that I get all the time, wherever, I don't care if I'm in New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, Florida, wherever. So where are you from? Minnesota. Oh, yeah. I said,
Oh,
no
yeah.
one where I grew up said, oh, yeah. I'm sorry, it's not,
I know.
North Minneapolis didn't go with the oh, yeah deal. So I don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
Fargo was a fun film. I liked it a lot. It was funny, but it did more of a disservice to our dialect than anything ever, I think.
Oh, you betcha, Judd.
You betcha. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Nobody in my family talked like that.
No.
I don't know. It just in the neighborhood certainly didn't. Can you imagine black people and Jews running around going, oh, yeah, how you doing?
Oh, yeah, don't you know?
Yeah. No, I can't.
And by the way, I already announced this morning, Judd, that I'm fed up with. The one political thing I'm fed up with is the treatment of Jews in this country now. I will not tolerate it. Jews are always welcome here. That's all I have to say. And if you don't like it, then go listen to somebody else.
Yeah. I mean, some of my good friends are Jewish. Yeah. No, I mean, yes, you are.
There's no excuse for it.
No, but I mean, yeah, no, you're right. I agree.
So that's all I'm saying is, well, I should say all Jews are welcome here, except for Josh Arnold. He's the only one that's not. I'll tolerate him, but you know what I'm saying.
How about the Democrats with Walz coming off the top rope? This is literally going to turn into like a WWE promo event. This is unbelievable. Where are we at politically? This is so far away from what I grew up with. It's unbelievable. And I'm not even saying it's terrible because it's amusing, but like we're literally now to a point where it's going to be, it's like Walz's thing, his speech, which was funny, but it's like wrestling now. Tom?
Oh, it is, absolutely. You see the New York Post went after him this morning about his DUI arrest doing 40 miles an hour over the speed limit. I don't know when it was. It was a long time ago, I think.
Not surprised.
Oh, what do you know? Is he a big boozer?
No. I'm not surprised. The Post did. The Post.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Rupert ain't going to go down without a fight here.
But 40 miles an hour over the speed limit when you're drunk, what the hell are you thinking?
That's a good, yeah. I wonder what the circumstances were there, his age and stuff, because that's the one thing about this. Accepting this nomination means that his entire life is going to become well beyond like his political stuff. Mm-hmm. His entire life becomes a circus sideshow, right?
I mean, that's the way it is. And like I said, I've been a Democrat, I've been a Republican. I'm now just pro-Jew. That's my new party. That's all I have to say. If you're going to turn on them, I'll get even louder about it. I will not tolerate that.
No, I'm totally with you. I'm completely with you. Yeah. Well,
they always have to have somebody. They always have to have some group that they want to beat the piss out of. I don't get it. So I'll never understand it.
Bullies, right?
Yeah, just being bullies. I mean, exactly. Okay, so I can watch the game on Fox at 3 o'clock on Saturday. My Twins did lose last night. But that's 5 in a row?
Yep. They lost last night. Cleveland got rained out, and Cleveland's lost 3 in a row, and then they got rained out last night. So the Twins go from 3.5 back to 4 back. Kansas City's lost a couple though, so the Kansas City's now 5.5 back. So and don't forget this weekend, 4 games against the Guardians at Target Field.
Ooh.
Followed by 3 games against the Royals at Target Field.
Ooh.
So and it starts with a double header on Friday. But that's a 7-game stretch. It won't define the season, but it's going to play a big role in things.
I would have picked a better name than the Guardians. That's a terrible name. We're the Guardian. What? So you stand by the front door? Is that what you do? You're guardianing?
So it's based on the fact that there are these statues on, I think it must be a famous bridge in Cleveland. I think going in to downtown that are like guardian statues. You know, they're statues that they look like a saintly, like trying to be safe guardian, blah, blah, blah. So that's where they ripped it off from.
Yeah. It's Hope Memorial Bridge in Ohio.
Hope Memorial. So I have a question for you. I don't understand. And again, I grew up a honky, so maybe I don't understand these things. But I always thought being called the Cleveland Indians was a good thing. You're honoring Native Americans. But then you got Chief Nakahoma. I suppose they didn't care much for him.
Wahoo for them.
Or Wahoo for them.
The
Nakahoma.
smiling. Yes. I think that was the Braves. Braves, right?
Oh, the Braves. Yeah, you're right.
Because he used to dance around. Yes, and he was a mascot who was dressed as an Indian who would dance around the field at Braves games in the 70s and do that.
But I mean,
and there's that one Nakahoma is just a take on hit a home run, fake made up name. So I can see.
I didn't even put that together.
Yeah, knock a homer.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that though?
I mean, not great. Not
calm down.
It would be if they used an actual it was an actual chief and he was his name was Nakahoma. Okay, but let's make a punny chief Indian name. I can see how people would be upset.
I don't get upset. Call me honky all you want. I don't get upset. Who cares?
Well, yeah, when you offer up a name that people could call you, of course you're not going to be upset.
Well, yeah, but I'm not upset about any of this stuff. Who cares?
You know what you should do, Tom? Buy the Twins.
I should.
And change the name to the Honkies.
I almost did buy the Twins once with Rick Bourne, but we didn't.
What?
Oh, yeah. Many, many years ago, Rick Bourne called me and said, you want to buy the Twins? I'm like, I don't know. We'll talk about it. I would have had to borrow the entire amount of money to do it. But other than that, that was a good thing there.
Your lovely wife probably wouldn't have been thrilled by that investment.
She was not thrilled anyway. But I think they were for sale at the time for $35 million or something. That's how long.
Yeah, that's what Carl Pohlad in 84, right. 85. He bought him for that. That's the amount.
35 million, and they're worth what now? About $2 billion.
Oh yeah,
that's a good investment. Maybe I should have borrowed 35 million from somebody and done it.
And do you know who outbid Pohlad but didn't get the team?
Who?
Donald J. Trump.
I did not know that.
Yep.
Really? I never knew that.
He tried to buy him, and I mean, now first of all, they probably looked at his books, and he probably didn't have the proper liquid assets to buy it. But yes, he. The story is he outbid Pohlad, and they took Carl's money instead.
I did not know that. I had what? So he bid $40 million for it or something.
Must have, yeah, probably. I think it was 40, 42. Yeah.
Was that during his run of trying to get into the NFL as well, and they wouldn't let him in?
I think it was right in the heart of the time that he actually owned the New Jersey Generals of the USFL and signed Herschel Walker out of Georgia. He signed Doug Flutie.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And then he tried to put the screws to the rest of the owners in the league to try to help pay Flutie's contract because he said the move is so popular. I made this league so great. You should help pay his salary. And they all said, get lost. And then he tried to buy the Bills. I want to say he tried to buy the Bills in the 90s.
That's probably about right. New Jersey Generals was the team, right?
Yeah, very good. New Jersey Generals.
God, I remember watching some of those games. That was some bad football. That was not very good.
Springtime, and I think Trump is the one that actually convinced him to go to a head-to-head fall league, which is the springtime league was at least a decent idea, but he's like, we should compete against, and it's like, dude, you're not going to be able to compete against National Football League.
No, it's not a good idea. I got a call from his people. They wanted him to come on the show and all the rest of it. So I said, yeah, we'll set that up. And then I didn't hear anything again.
Mm-hmm.
So I called him back and I said, are we going to do this or whatever? Well, you're going to have to make a contribution. I said, nope. I'm not going to pay somebody to come on my show, for Christ's sake. I mean, he used to back in the day, these people. And like I said, I'm not a Democrat or a Republican, so if they all want to come on, I don't give a rat's ass. It's fine with me.
Well, and he used to do radio hits all the time way back when, right?
Yep. Absolutely.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Absolutely right. So I don't know. We'll just see. Like I said, my one political position now is leave the Jews alone. That's all I have to say. That's my whole political agenda.
Can we just leave people alone in general?
Just because you're not like you. I'm not a Jew either. A lot of people do think I'm Jewish, by the way. Why would they think that?
I've gotten that before for me too.
Oh, you have too?
Yeah, because my dad's family, his mother came from Russia, and then he was born in Persia, and so I'm ethnic enough that there have been some, and which is fine. I don't care. But yeah, why can't we just leave people alone?
No. One thing I do love though is our dog's name is Jude, after Hey Jude. So we call him and go, hey Jude, get it? A little humor, all the rest of it.
Love it.
One problem we have with that, if he misbehaves on the street in Palm Beach and you holler Jude,
Oh no!
every head turns. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah!
Like, whoa!
Yeah.
No, Judah, which you can't say that either.
Manhattan South, right?
Exactly.
You basically live in Manhattan South. They got the Post, they got their coffee, and yeah, I got you.
That's exactly it. Any brilliant closing comments, sir?
No, I think we've run the gamut of topics. I will join you tomorrow. Twins play the Cubs this afternoon, and then like I said, starting on Friday, it should be fun.
Are they
Should be
going to
real
get
fun.
within a couple of games here, you think?
Well, that's the thing is, depending on what happens. So I don't know if Cleveland's playing a doubleheader against Arizona today to make up the rained out game, but if the Twins win and Cleveland loses again, if it's 3.5, Cleveland's going to come here for 4 games. So like it is conceivable if things fall right. And now this would be asking the Twins to sweep, which is probably not going to happen, but that the Twins could exit that series with the AL Central lead. And who knows? Cleveland has been the best team in baseball, so crazy things are taking place from a team that I thought was not going to do much. So, and that's the Twins.
Since I was about 15 years old, I guess, something like that.
Yep.
This has been my favorite time of the year because you got the Twins and the Vikings playing at the same time, man. I loved that when I was a kid.
Oh yeah. Well, fall's I love fall.
Oh,
once we get in the air gets crisp and you got baseball, which is then a lot of fun, and football. Absolutely.
No question about it. So everybody calm down. We know who's running against who in this presidential race. We got baseball, we got football, basketball with the Olympics. I mean, you should be very happy right now. So stop being so goddamn crabby.
I like it. Yes. And don't pick on people.
Yeah, stop picking on people, for Christ's sake. All right, Palomino, we will talk to you tomorrow.
Outstanding. Talk to you then.
Thanks a lot. Take a break. Be right back. Hi, Tom Barnard for Livia Weight Control Centers. Your success story starts today. Join Livia's doctor recommended, an award-winning nutrition plan and get your first 8 weeks free. And I'll say that again, too. You get your first 8 weeks free. You could lose up to 20 pounds or more in your first 8 weeks. So I did, actually. I lost about 30. Plus, Livia offers weight loss medications to accelerate results. Receive personalized one-on-one guidance, plus expert nutrition and medical support. Livia is the destination for all weight loss solutions because Livia works. Put this, here's the deal. For me, I jumped in because I wanted to go. I at one time weighed 315. It was pretty muscular at one time. Then, time marched on and it wasn't all that much muscle anymore. So I had to lose at one point 100 pounds. So I just cut way, way back. I didn't have to do it, but I wanted to do it. But I still, when I joined Livia, had 50 pounds to go. I am now within single digits of getting to my goal, which is very, very cool. It just works for me. And it'll work for you too. That's the thing. And I don't endorse products if they don't work. I'm just not going to do that. And that's all there is to it. That's why, whatever business that like AJ and Tevin get into, I'll never promote it because, unless you get good results. Does that make sense?
No promises on good results.
Yeah. Well, see, there you go. I just can't say the T. You could be the Taj, T and AJ, the Taj business, the Taj Mahal.
Yeah. We'll figure out what the business actually is later, but we got a kick-ass name.
Yeah, you got a kick-ass name. Here's the deal. Visit Livia.com. That's Livea.com or call 855-GO-LIVIA. Join Livia's nutrition plan today and get your first 8 weeks free. Plus, Livia Medical offers GLP-1 medications for accelerated results, and that does work. I'm here to tell you. Visit Livia.com or call 855-GO-LIVIA. Choose the trusted leader serving our communities for 15 years because Livia works.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? You know, inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
Let us take a second to talk about my bank. That would be North American Banking Company. Been my bank for years. If you own a business or are thinking about starting one, make sure to check out my friends at North American Banking Company. When your business is looking to capitalize on an opportunity or maybe solve a problem, you can turn to their experts. They're very good at this stuff because they're locally owned and operated. Loan decisions are made here in the Twin Cities. They're not shipped out of state, which I've never liked. This helps business owners expand with confidence. So if you're looking for a better banking experience, why not bank with my friends? And again, I do not call people my friends if they're not. At North American Banking Company, go to nabankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Okay, here's how it's going to go. And I just figured this whole thing out. And I'm going to be the voiceover of your company. So we got Tevin, we'll use the T. And you got AJ, we use the AJ. They're going to get a furniture moving business and call it the Taj Mahal. What do you think?
Taj Mahal.
Get it, Taj Mahal.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay, both of you get off your ass and get it started. Let's go.
Yeah, that sounds like a tomorrow problem.
Yeah, I was right with you until the whole we got to move other people. That sounds like a terrible.
No, you
way
own the company. You hire other people.
You got to put the groundwork in first before you can hire
Sweat
people.
equity.
Not trying to lift
Sweat
houses.
equity.
Yep.
He just wants it handed to him. Typical.
Otherwise, we're going to be on like Undercover Boss, and we can't even bring up one box up a flight of stairs.
Undercover Boss. Okay.
Remember that show?
Yes, I do. Channel 5's Chris Egert is brought to you by Mr. Money Talk Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. Mr. Egert, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Magnificent, as a matter of fact. A beautiful morning this morning. My God, it was nice.
We were a couple of weeks ago during the commercial breaks. We too came up with a great name for a business, kind of like Taj Mahal that you just had.
Sure.
It's a strip club called the Gaza Strip.
I love it. Works for me.
I don't know why. I can just see this, I can visualize it as, and again, this is geographically and probably politically incorrect, but it would be like this round sort of yellow colored logo with a pyramid on it and like a palm tree and something else and Gaza Strip written in really old funky 70s lettering. Are you with me on that?
I'm here to tell you, you have what you got to do with your strippers at the Gaza Strip. You cannot refer to them as their breasts or titties. They got to be called their bombs. What do you think? She's whipping out her bombs, right? Yeah, I gotta be honest with you. I've never been a strip club guy. It's always made me very nervous to go into a strip club.
Same, and I'm not just saying that. I've gone on occasion, and I feel uncomfortable. And the last time we were in Vegas, we went, and I kind of got dragged along, and this gal was talking to me, and I'm just looking at her, and she's like, she's from Omaha. I'm like, well, my wife's from Omaha. So I'm just sitting here whoops. Nothing about it makes me comfortable. Yeah, I'm with you.
The only time I have ever been in a strip club in my life, because I used to work out with a lot of really big muscular guys, and a lot of them did security at strip clubs.
Yep.
Hey, Tom, can you come by and pick me up, and we'll go to the Twins game tonight or whatever the hell it is, right? We're going to do something. So I would go in the back door, and it was just, and again, I'm not judging. You go to strip clubs, good for you. If you're a stripper, good for you. That's not what I'm saying. It just always made me very nervous. I don't know why. It always has.
Yeah, I think if you're like, well, I don't know. I guess if you're in the right frame of mind, it's probably a lot of fun. I'm not gonna.
Well, I understand.
I think you got to be in the right mindset, so you kind of let go of what your inhibitions would be.
I'm just picturing you like there talking to a dancer and just being like, so this weather's pretty hot, huh?
You don't have a shirt on.
Look at
Hey, so I got a great idea for a club. Just stay with me on this. It's called the Gaza Strip.
Yes, I love it. I think it's a good call. I don't think there's any one. Before we move on, my favorite strip club story. I won't even say which one it was, but it was downtown Minneapolis. And I was going to pick up a friend of mine who you would know who this guy is, but I can't say. He is about 6'4", weighed about 320 pounds, not 1 ounce of fat on him. This guy was gigantic. I go in the back door and some guy's arguing with him. Then the guy takes a swing at my friend. His forehead, he gave him the palm of the hand, the heel of the hand, split wide open. The guy's just oozing blood like a madman. It's like, why am I here? What am I doing here? Why would you take a swing at a guy who's 6'4", weighs about 310 pounds, and you're going to take a poke at him?
Yeah, it seems like kind of a ballsy move, and it kind of seems like it backfired too, right?
Definitely. I was there to watch it backfire, and it was not pretty. I will tell you that.
It doesn't sound like it.
God. Yeah, so strip club. And again, you go to strip clubs, that's your life. Good for you. I got nothing against you. It's just, I don't know, maybe it's because I was raised by women. Maybe that's why it makes me so nervous. My mother and my 2 sisters raised me, so I guess maybe that's why it is. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to tell that story.
Okay.
Obviously, in the news, the Walz thing yesterday, which was breaking yesterday morning when I checked in with you guys last. Heard from him last night or yesterday. I guess it was last night out in Pennsylvania where they were speaking. They're going to be speaking in Eau Claire, I think sometime late morning to mid-afternoon, and I'm sure we've got a couple of different crews there covering that. So, and as I said yesterday, the GOP and Trump and JD Vance, and they come right out, and nobody pulled any. They're letting him have it on his record, and there's a lot to scrutinize. So. Yeah. It'll be happening for the next 91 days.
Oh, yes, it's going to happen for the next 91 days. But like I said, I don't really have a dog in this fight. Democrat, Republican, that whole deal. So like I said, I'm just going to, the only thing I am make it very, very clear is if you're going to bitch about Jews, don't do it around me. I don't want to hear it. I have many friends that are Jewish, and I'm not going to listen to it. It's just disgusting. You're going after an entire group of people based on what? Never made any sense to me.
Well, it's you bring that up. It will be interesting. I'm surprised that Iran has not hit Israel yet in the last couple of days. Like I was after this weekend, I was like certain that something would have happened by now. I don't know if that's good or bad because I still feel like something's coming. And then I want to hear from the people who all want to be president and vice president. I want to hear what kind of plan they've got for the Middle East, because nobody's really talking about that. And we're all kind of like enamored, and I say we culturally, we're enamored with, sound bites and, listening for great quips and, Walz really let them have it. And, that kind of crap. Yeah. I want to hear somebody talk to me about, the state of the world, because it's a mess. So,
well, what pushed me over the top, I was listening to an interview yesterday, and there was a woman talking about the fact that her son and his buddy, Americans, went to Israel to see a concert, I guess a year ago or whenever it was, something like that. They wanted to go to this concert event. It was kind of like it was a big deal, whatever. Well, during the concert event, apparently Hamas attacked the event, started bombing the event and all the rest of it, took her son hostage, and he's been in their custody ever since. And I'm tearing up in my car listening to this. What would you do if your child was being held hostage by Hamas? I mean, my God.
I mean, that was the thing that I think that was October 7th. So we're getting close to a year now. That concert was one of the biggest hits that happened that day.
Yep.
And it's awful. And I don't know. Give me a plan. What do we got going on over there? How are we going to try to get things resolved, or is it just going to turn into a giant disaster? Because I don't know.
To close out quickly, the oldest hostage they took is 88 years old, and the youngest is a year and a half old. There's a hostage that's a year and a half old. It's like, what?
Yeah, and you got to I mean, I don't know. I would like to think that they're okay, but nobody knows, and so.
Yep, unfortunately. Well, they already found out that this woman's son's best friend who went with him, he was killed by a grenade.
Oh, really?
It's just really sad stuff, man. And is this supposed to be a religiously based war? Is that what that's what this is all about, isn't it? It's one religion against another?
I mean, it's the Middle East, right? Like these divisions have been there for a long, long time. And, it's like at points when there is some kind of peace, it seems like a miracle. When things seem to go haywire a lot, but
yeah, it's unfortunate. But and I know it's very sad news to be talking about in a morning show, but it has to be talked about. These people have been there. How long have they been there now? Almost a year.
It was the beginning of October, so yeah. And it's second week of August? Not quite, but
tomorrow we'll begin the second week of August. So close enough. It's unfortunate. I know you've got other jobs to do.
Yeah, I have all kinds of weird crap going on today on Minnesota Live, like some mushroom. We're talking about mushroom foraging, Tom.
Well, you got to be careful with that because some of those mushrooms are poisonous as hell, man.
You do, and the Minnesota Poison Control has seen an increased number of people coming in this year.
Oh man!
I suppose because it was so wet out this spring, there's mushrooms growing everywhere. So, what the hell? Just eat it.
Okay, I'll close with this. As you were talking, the lovely and talented Robert walked in, and he grabbed a pen and a pad. Like, what are you going to take notes?
Can I talk? Is this? Well, just if jokes occur to me during a conversation or something, I like to make sure whatever.
Why, when you said the word jokes, did you look right at me like I'm a joke?
No, I'm making eye contact. This is conversation 101, Tom.
I'm deeply.
Hardly. No, I think it'd be more dismissive if I wasn't making eye contact. I'm just I'm working on jokes over here. No.
Can't pay attention to you, Tom.
All right,
Chris. Well, thank you, sir.
Chris. Yep. Bye, guys.
Channel 5's Chris Egert. It's brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation, 952-925-5608. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Is that correct?
Yep, you got it.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because we've got to go to a break. We'll be right back. We'll just call you RB. I can't call you RB, though. I just can't do it because my father's name was Robert.
Oh, sure.
And I hated that prick.
It's also way too close to Arby's, which I would also rather not be. I mean, we both bring the meats, but with their reputation. No, that's. I'll also give you a free beef and cheddar when the Timberwolves win. I will do that as well.
You know that Arby's came from the guy's initials being RB, right?
I didn't know, but I believe that. That seems very plausible.
Where it came from.
Yeah,
where it came. You probably don't remember when they used to spin the old beef brisket around on a little
spigot.
Yeah, like a spigot. I don't know what the hell it was, but a rotisserie. There you go. You can tell what a great cook I am.
In the Arby's, they would do that?
Yeah. Back when I was a kid, Arby's had this spinning meat on a spindle. What did you call it again?
Like a rotisserie.
A rotisserie.
Like that was probably a big day for the kids to go in there and watch the meat.
You damn
meat
right.
Spin.
All right, we got to take a break. Be right back. Robert joins us right after this. When you go to a restaurant, you expect the chef to be an expert. You expect your auto mechanic to be an expert when it comes to fixing your car. You judge them both by the results of their work. Josh Arnold is an expert in investments and planning your financial future. Josh Arnold is my expert, and he should be yours too. I talk to Josh every week, and he understands the market and the economy, and he knows how to plan for your retirement. Don't put it off another day. The man with your plan is Josh Arnold. Call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll have an expert planning and managing your financial future. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
Is that text you're sending so important that you missed your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. To thank you, they're having an overstock clearance and new product sale right now for the best prices ever. When you use promo code TOM, you get free shipping on your entire order. You get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived and won't last long. 6-pack towel sets for only $29.98. And take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses and mattress toppers. 100% made in the USA, on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything is on sale, from the brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually absorb dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, and so much more. To get the best specials ever, go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146. Use promo code TOM, and you can get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146. Go to mypillow.com and use promo code TOM.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Tom, Robert, Doug, Full House. I was trying to stall till you got here.
Stall? You just went on the air.
I know. Well, it was either that or dead air.
Even when I did radio, I never came back on time. It's like, it's talking. Who cares, right?
Right.
But it's not the real Full House because none of us killed Heath Ledger.
That's a very good point.
I don't know if it was Mary Kate or Ashley. One of them.
It was
waited
somebody.
way too long.
Now, the two of you are going to have to understand something, Dougie and Robert. Jillian Michaels is going to join us in a few minutes, and you guys basically are going to have to contribute to the interview.
Okay.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you're on strike or used up all your words for the week?
I've been talking for like 45 minutes.
You've been doing this for 35 years.
Been doing this for actually 56 years.
Okay, that's more.
I started when I was a little boy. I think I was 17 when I first. Well, I was at Hubbard too, this is where our partner is now. I started at Hubbard. Now I'm back with Hubbard after all that time because I got fired. I was Robert on the show, and they hated us both, so they fired both of us.
Well, I was listening on the way in when the Gaza Strip whip out her bombs joke.
See,
this probably is your last show.
That was his fault, AJ, all the way.
No, that was Chris Egert. Let's not put blame on anyone here.
So it was Egert?
Yes.
Okay.
From his Vegas strip club escapades.
I couldn't hear. I missed the Gaza joke. I couldn't.
He wanted AJ, the guy right behind you, wanted to open a strip club and call it the Gaza Strip.
Oh, gotcha.
And I said, well, then they got to call women's breasts bombs.
Oh,
right. That's all I said. And then he turned on me.
He turned on you. Oh, that's not
That's unbelievable.
There's a line of cabbies downstairs, just so you know.
Robert.
Yeah.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yep. Acme Comedy Company.
Magnificent, no question. How many shows are you doing per day?
One on Wednesday tonight, one tomorrow, Thursday night, and then 2 on Friday, 2 on Saturday, 7 and 9:30.
You got that much action with the comedy, Robert Baril.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Oh, come on. Walz is a vice presidential candidate now. It was a gift from God when I get a week at my home club, and then Kamala picks the Minnesota governor. Like, let's do it.
I have taken a very, very hard line political stance.
Okay.
I'm not going to follow the presidency at all. I don't care. I don't,
More of a Congress guy or Supreme Court?
No,
What's your branch?
I just don't want to hear one more person say anything anti-Jew because I'm not putting up with it. I'm not even Jewish. I'm Catholic. I grew up Catholic, which is kind of a combination of like, honkies and Jews anyway, isn't it? That kind of Catholic meets in the middle.
Not really.
No. You've decided that
the Catholics and the Jews have a little different perception of how the world
not
works.
in North Minneapolis, they didn't. It was just one neighborhood.
Doesn't mean they can't get along.
Exactly. So I just decided. I took that stance. What do you think?
That you're staunch, like no one says anything about lay off the Jews is the stance that you're taking.
You can make fun of the Jews, but just don't be a prick about it.
Well, that's okay. So I mean, I get that. That makes sense to me because I would see some stuff in the media too where it was anti-Israel, whatever. And I'm much more critical. I think you can criticize Israel's foreign policy, their government, their political issues without making it anti-Semitic. Because I would hear like reports of anti-Semitism, and I'm like, okay, well, is it really? And then you watch people like, kill the Jews, and you're like, okay, well, that's definitely all right. I thought it was going to be like, exactly. We're like, okay, you can criticize their foreign policy and I do, but like that's certainly not the same thing as just not thinking they should exist as people. Yeah, so I assume that's what you mean by being a dick about it, but I don't.
That's what they're doing. I mean, every Jew now is a bad person, and like
not Woody Allen.
No, not Woody Allen. There's no question. Oh, you know who I saw on TV?
I love that this. I love that this is redirecting you into stuff. What
is redirecting?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, go ahead.
I saw Ben Stiller. What happened to him? He just disappeared.
Yeah, I don't know. Where did you see him?
He was on national TV talking about what a great pick Tim Walz was.
Oh, sure.
It's like, stop begging for jobs, will you? He's not funny. I've never liked him. I liked his mother and father.
Tropic Thunder? You didn't like Tropic Thunder at all?
Yeah, the movie was good and he was okay, but his mom and dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stiller and Mara back in the days. You guys aren't old enough to know that. See, I hold up the old guy end of the show while you guys look at me like, who the hell are Stiller and Mara?
I know who his parents are.
5 years apart, Tom. Although there was one psychic that thought I was your son.
Yes, they did. They go, "Oh, is this your son?" It's like, shut up, for Christ. What's wrong? You're a psychic, for Christ's sake. How do you not know
a very
he's
good
not
one.
my son? Yeah, you're not a very good psychic. That's all I'm saying. But no, what I'm trying to do is just, hey, can't we all just get along here? What about that action? That'd be good.
Hey, I mean, I think Ben Stiller's he's funny, not funny in everything, but like no one's funny in everything. If there's going to be duds every now and then. But I think like Dodgeball, I thought he was funny. Movie. Tropic Thunder, he was funny.
Starsky and Hutch wasn't bad.
Starsky and Hutch, yeah.
Listen to you guys kissing ass on Ben Stiller. Typical. Robert just looking at me.
I don't even know what to like. I don't know. Is Ben Stiller? He can't be anti-Israel, right? Isn't he Jewish?
I think so.
Yeah,
nice
probably. Yeah, okay. There you go.
So
that was the Woody Allen pivot. Was it made you think of Ben Stiller?
Yes.
Okay, I got you.
Okay.
Well, I'm talking Jews, so let's go.
So I did a little Google search for Ben Stiller to just see what he's in the news for, and his quote is, "Every white Jewish guy wishes he was black."
Yes, that's what he said on the. That's what he said. In the interview. All Jewish guys wish they were black. Like, what?
Get it.
What the hell are you talking about?
I mean, sometimes you're talking to fill time, and
yeah, and he was getting interviewed, and he said that he wishes he was black. So it sounds like he was trying to make a joke.
No, he did. He said that's what he said. Just once you kiss a little more ass, Ben. I don't get it. Oh, listen to you because you're black. It's a great thing.
Thanks, Ben.
Hell yeah,
he could be honorary for a day.
That's probably a good feeling to know that the chosen people would rather choose to be you.
Exactly.
Right.
Really
everybody wants to be Tevin.
And this is a true story because of my voice. The first time I talk to somebody on the phone, they always think I'm black. just because of the tone of my voice.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I use the word honky a lot, and maybe that makes it worse.
Oh yeah, black people use that word all the time now.
Got in trouble with
Calling
everybody
in
in
1974.
Well, it probably was 1974. But let's talk comedy for a second here.
It's enough with the juice. Yeah, let's get to
enough with all of it.
Yeah,
let's leave everybody alone.
Yeah,
right.
Well, let's talk comedy. What do you want to know?
I think, and you and I talked about this last time you were in.
Yeah.
I think comedy is more important now, particularly live comedy, more important now than it's ever been because everybody's so damn angry about everything. You need to laugh, man.
Yeah, you need to laugh. You need to poke fun at both sides, which I definitely try to do. It's why I'm going to miss Biden so much, which I even say in my act too. Is like that. I could just make fun of him and everybody would love it. And I lost like 12 minutes of my act when he stepped down. I was like, son of a bitch. I was the only one that, like, everyone else is like excited, ready to, slingshot that Kamala momentum. And I'm like, man, I'm going to have to write. Fortunately, Trump did get shot, so I can get some material out of that. And I do get material there. But it has been like there was an attempted assassination and we've moved on past. That was like, 3 weeks ago now. But like
nobody cares.
Yeah, it was just like, oh, well, that's in the past. So I joke about all that stuff. And the goal, I think, is to not seem too soapboxy or have any particular ideology or anything. I was doing a show a few weekends ago up north, and immediately as soon as I started doing political stuff, it was like, oh, joke about Kamala, and I'm like, calm, like, let me just relax. I know everybody's got their team, they got their whatever. And I try to compare my, political comedy that I do. I like to compare it to an orgy. Like, listen, everybody's going to get yours, but some are just going to have to wait a little bit. Like, I can't get everybody at one time. So I'm going to poke fun at this politician, this group, that. So just sit back. And if you don't like what you're hearing right now, wait 2 or 3 minutes and it's going to shift. Like, there's going to be some Walz stuff. There's definitely going to be some JD Vance stuff. Like, just wait and everybody will get theirs. Yeah.
No, it's a very, very good point. Jillian Michaels is joining us now. So Jillian, I'm asking everybody, I want to ask you this as well. Robert Baril's in studio, Jillian. He's in studio. And I want to ask him this very quickly. You ready? The number one person, if you walked in and looked at your audience, you would love to have Kamala Harris because she laughs more than any human being I've ever seen. She's got to be perfect for a comedy show, right?
Well, as an audience member, yeah.
Oh, that's what I mean.
Yeah, for sure.
She laughs a lot.
Yeah.
Which is good for her. She's happy. I'm happy, Jillian Michaels, her podcast, Keeping It Real with Jillian Michaels, now featuring an exciting new video format produced in collaboration with the rapidly expanding Club Random Studios Network, founded by Bill Maher. This promises to offer a deeper and more immersive experience. I'm immersed in talking to you, Jillian Michaels. What do you think of that action?
Oh my gosh, like I came in on the conversation with it's like an orgy. I'm super excited to join.
Kind of. You can't hear her?
I was like, wow. Oh my gosh, it's so early. Oh,
I can hear
can you not hear me?
You guys can.
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Okay.
There are a couple of people can't hear you, though.
Good.
I don't know why, but
Oh man.
Do you think I should fire the producer this morning? Should AJ?
Yes.
Should I just fire him?
Ruin his life.
Yes, ruin his life.
Hopefully he has kids and just ruin the whole family. That'll be great.
Honest to God, Jillian, this is I gotta read this part too because people need to understand. Jillian Michaels is a fitness expert, certified nutritionist, businesswoman, media personality, and author. Do you ever get a moment to yourself? All you do is give.
Oh my gosh, I don't actually. I think of it as take because I love what I do, and I'm so lucky to be able to do it, to make a living doing what I love. But for sure, I work in those quieter moments. I tend to get bored. I always want to be learning something new. And that's what I love so much about podcasting is that you can bring on brilliant minds, whether they're thought leaders in tech or they're investigative journalists doing an expose on the teen opioid crisis on Snapchat, or the world's best MDs or PhDs talking about why men's testosterone levels are plummeting. I just love it. I'm always learning, and I like to share that information with people.
Well, see, now you're cooking with gas. Now that makes total sense to me. We need much, much, much more humor in the world. Robert, delivers that. Jillian, you do as well. I just would like to see people be happier, laugh about things. I mean, you've been talking about gender in sports quite a bit, have you not, Jillian? And I just don't understand why this whole thing ever happened, where women are getting pummeled in their own sports, and it's just not fair.
Yeah. Oh, well, I don't know how funny that is. I don't know how much will make you laugh about it.
No.
I have a pretty big theory on this. There's a guest I'm actually working to get on named Eric Kaufman, who wrote an entire book about the more woke mindset. And it comes, I believe, as well, from a position of empathy, right? Where you women we're seeing it more in women. We're particularly empathetic and emotional, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. And so the question then becomes, well, who are we giving our empathy to, right? Are you giving it to Emaine Khalif, or are you giving it to the thousands of women who've worked their entire lives to get to the Olympics, and now there isn't a fair playing field? And I think if we can just educate people, and the reality with this debate is you've got to look at the data, period. And I've looked at it with a sports medicine doctor. I've gone over all of the research that exists out there, and I actually do it on my podcast. And it's not fair. So if we were to even table the safety conversation, right, in sports like swimming or running, for example, it's not fair. And we break down all the ways it isn't fair. And now the conversation becomes, okay, how do you get the governing bodies to the table to look at the data? We don't want this draconian ban, because obviously the people that are empathetic, and understandably so, it's like we want inclusion, very important in sports. And we don't want to simply say, oh, go play with, your biological, that's going to shut the conversation down. So while I understand that argument, come to the table with some empathy. That's what I'm asking. Okay, we have empathy for individuals who are gender dysphoric, individuals who've transitioned, but what's the handicap here, right? If you have a 10 to 13% advantage in swimming, and this is what the data shows us, is there a handicap for that? Is there a third league? How do we approach this sport by sport? It doesn't matter in shooting. It doesn't matter in archery. Maybe it doesn't matter in horseback riding, but it does matter in boxing. Like, we have to go sport by sport, and we need to stop with the baloney of pretending like there's no difference between the sexes, because there is, and this is where the left loses all credibility. And on the right, I would simply ask, just stop with the predator in the bathroom conversation. These kids are not predators. There hasn't been one incident of that. And let's show up with a bit more understanding, even though it doesn't make sense to you. I get it. Show up with an understanding and a tolerance, and let's start the conversation. And that's what my podcast is about. It's about having the conversations. That's what we need to do in order to arrive at solutions for this and other things.
Well, Jillian, I got to be honest with you. When I was younger, many, many years ago, I was a power lifter. I was a weightlifter. But yes, they were all men. But if you were much smaller than, let's say, the heavyweight lifters, you were not in their category. So all those years ago, when it was all men, it depended on how much you weighed, how old you were. You were put in different categories. There were like 6 or 7 different categories. Why don't they do that if you're transitioning? They're going to have to come up with the same thing where there are different categories, whether you're much taller, you have a much longer reach, how much you weigh.
Yeah.
Why don't they do that? That's
a great question.
Yeah.
And in this sport in particular, very recently, a transgender female broke the record in, it was like an all-around lift. There were 3 different lifts, shattered the record that women have been chasing for decades. And a biological female powerlifter spoke out about it because she was so angry. And then I think it's the Canadian Powerlifters Association. They booted her from the sport for 2 years. I swear to God, but this is why people are like, well, the female athletes, they need to say something. They're complicit. They are, and they're getting crucified. Look at what's going on with Riley Gaines. Look at what happened to that female powerlifter. Look at what's happening to the women in the Olympics. They're gaslighting all of us. Those are biological men. These 2 boxers are biological men. It's not even a question. They had a gender test from the International Boxing Association, and now they're crucifying the female athletes that speak out. They're making them publicly apologize. It's insanity. It's insanity. So your question is a good one, and it doesn't happen until again, this is my point, right? We got to get to the table and then get these governing bodies to start looking at the common sense stuff of what you are talking about. But we're not going to get there if we're like, you go compete against men and you're a predator in the bathroom. I get it. I do, but nothing good comes of it. And we need to start working on solutions. And the way to do it is to be more empathetic and tolerant on the right. And stop pretending the earth is flat on the left. Stop it. Stop with your insanity. And we can even prove that's not the case with the data. As I mentioned, there are numerous studies to show the advantages that people born with XY chromosomes have over XX chromosomes. And anecdotally speaking, you're seeing meteoric rises in athletes that were, not even ranking when they were competing against men, like Leah Thomas, for example, going to the top of the sport when they're competing against females. So again, the conversation is crucial to be had.
Well, let me put it this way. The biggest I ever was 315 pounds, very muscular. I still wouldn't want to fight Muhammad Ali. I can guarantee you that. I had no interest in doing that.
Well, it wouldn't be a long fight.
No, it would not be a long fight. That puppy would have been over by
8 seconds.
It didn't last long enough to count to 10. That's exactly it. Robert, what's your take on it? There's got to be a humorous take on it.
At least this is the first and only time that the Olympic Committee has failed to take the concerns of female Olympians seriously.
First time ever?
No, first time ever. There's never been a predator coach or trainer.
Never
was allowed to run roughshod over all of these girls.
What was that guy again? It was like in the thousands from what I hear now.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Larry Nassar.
Larry Nassar, yeah.
Although I did see that the guy that stabbed him had 6 months taken off his sentence for good behavior. So I was happy to see that. It is nice that there are guys like him where like no matter where you fall on the spectrum, you're like, good. Like I don't think there was anyone that saw that Larry Nassar got stabbed and was like, oh, I was like, yeah, no, that's fair. That's definitely, yeah.
It works for me. Unbelievable. Jillian, this went by too quickly. You need to come into studio. That's what you need to do.
Oh my God, you need me back. If you guys are talking about orgy and murdering bad guys, I want to be on every day.
We can do it. I'll be on your show. You be on my show. You'll never get rid of each other. That works for me.
I would love it.
How do people find your podcast, Jillian? How Keeping It Real with Jillian?
Just go to YouTube. Yeah, just go to YouTube, search Jillian Michaels and subscribe. It's totally free. And hopefully you will love it. If you don't, well then,
Tough hop.
Check out next week's show.
We'll get that done. Jillian, thank you for all your time this morning.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
Great talking to you. Keeping It Real with Jillian Michaels. Just go to YouTube. Yeah, people for some reason have a lot of trouble finding podcasts, but they're so easy to find now. It's unbelievable. I mean, every podcast that has any size at all is on every one of those outlets, correct? I just love women who have a sense of humor like that and go forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That Larry Nassar. How is he not? Is he dead now?
I don't think so.
He's not
still in prison.
Nobody's killed him. You would have think somebody.
Well, he
killed
only
him
got
by
stabbed.
now.
What 6 months ago?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there'll be other attempts. Right. I feel like now, it's like the first piss after you started drinking. You just got to crack the seal, and then But there's probably I'm just saying, like there's probably. You can't, like, even as a guard, you almost got to be like, all right, good night, Larry. Just leaving you alone in that cell, right? Like how, you probably don't want to lose your job if you need the job. But I would imagine there's like a little wink of, everybody else. Like, well, I mean, if something happens to this guy, like, not the end of the world.
No, I understand that completely. You got to take a break. You guys are going to love this next. Well, I mean, Dougie already knows about this. Kristen Burt will join us right after this. And you ever know she's got opinions on a lot of things?
Yeah, she seems to be pretty opinionated on some stuff more than others, especially entertainment.
I suppose that's probably true. She's got an edge toward me now. I think I pissed her off one time, and now she's got an edge.
One time. We might have to.
That's all. Just the one time.
Narrow it down.
Like every time.
Wouldn't be much of a guess if she didn't have opinions. Like, just bring her on. I don't know. All right, cool. Good talk. Good talk. This is good content. Yeah.
No question. Kristen Burt will join us right after this.
I've been tracking the weather in Minnesota for a long time. I'm 5 Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Ken Barlow. In the morning, I've got to be right because my forecast affects your family's entire day. And in the evening, you can count on my friend, Ren.
That's right, Ken. I'm 5 Eyewitness News Evening Meteorologist Ren Claire. And as a Minnesotan, I know our weather can be tricky. Throughout the day and into the night, I've got you covered with an accurate forecast to help keep your family safe and ready for any weather.
And don't forget, no matter how things change or what time of day, you'll always get our forecast first at the start of every newscast on 5 Eyewitness News. Start your day with me, Ken Barlow.
And wrap up your day with me, Ren Claire.
Because 5 Eyewitness News is always tracking our weather, so you're always alerted first. It's why 5 Eyewitness News is Minnesota's weather authority.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they talk to you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
I hosted my show on the radio for 40 years. Now I host the Tom Barnard Podcast. And I'll tell you, I've never seen the passion and engagement from our audience as I do now. I know we also have businesses that listen to our podcast, and it got me thinking, wouldn't it be great to help those businesses grow by telling my listeners about them? So here's the deal. If you own or handle marketing for a business, would like to have my audience buy your product or service, visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and we'll put together an ad campaign to help your business. That's TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and thank you for listening.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app, at TomBarnardShow.com, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Ladies and gentlemen, Doug Sprinthal in studio, also Robert Baril. Look, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, phenomenal.
I don't stop.
Wednesday, Thursday, 1 show, Friday, Saturday, 2 shows.
Yep.
At
I
Acme
can't turn it off. At Acme Comedy Company, one of the best comedy clubs in the country.
It really is, and I don't know if everybody knows that, but it is true. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, there was pre-canceled Louis C.K. was on Conan O'Brien, and he told this really touching story about when he headlined Acme, and after his week he sold out every show, and Louis just gave him a big bag of money, and he was just like, huh? And then Louis was like, you've earned this. Like you need to fire your agent if you're not making this kind of money every single week. And he almost teared up talking about it, but like it's very well regarded, very highly esteemed amongst the biggest names in comedy. That's Robin Williams did a set there gearing up for his last HBO special. So
I remember that, and one of my favorite of all time, Chad Daniels.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Was told by the owner. Yeah. You remember what he said?
I'm sure he's told Chad several different things over the years.
I think he probably has.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, Chad's going to be on the show next week. I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome. Yeah.
He actually, the owner of the club, I won't even mention his name because he's a very, very nice guy.
I already did. Yeah.
Yeah, you already did.
We all know who he is.
Yeah. It's not Voldemort like you can say. It's right.
That's true. Yeah. But Chad, as he's walking out the door one day, turns around. Well, what'd you think? What'd you think, Louis? He goes, Chad Daniels, headliner. And I think Chad's doing pretty well as a headliner.
Oh, yeah. He's got a Netflix special that just...
Yeah, he's put out like 10 specials in 2 years. Yeah.
He's doing all right. Mm-hmm.
Speaking of special, Kristen Bird Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Are you a headliner? KB2.
I'm a headliner at 7:15 every morning, or I guess 9:15 for you guys.
9:15 for us, 7:15 for you. So what time did you get up this morning?
5 o'clock. I get up at 5:01 every morning.
Well, but you've been getting up at like 3 in the morning to watch the Olympics.
I did, yes. I got up at around 3:30 to watch Simone Biles.
Oh man! So I got to get your take on the bowing down to the winner.
To Rebecca Andrade.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that?
I thought that was great.
Some people are pissed off about it.
I don't understand why they would be. I mean, to me, I mean, I'm entrenched in gymnastics outside of the Olympic cycle. I follow it in between those years as well. And Rebecca Andrade has been the only one who's been able to challenge Simone Biles and kind of keep her going and keep her competitive. Otherwise, if Rebecca wasn't there, Simone would have won the all around with like 5-8 points. There'd be no competition. And I think that's what really kept Simone going. And on that last day in the floor exercise finals, Rebecca was better. She deserved the gold medal. And I think it was great that the two American athletes sort of bowed down to her to give her flowers, as they were saying, because she is just as accomplished as Simone.
Yeah, some NFL players didn't care for it. They didn't like it at all.
You mean football players where the quarterbacks shake each other's hand at the end of the game?
Those
are the guys that are mad.
One football player, Marlon something
Humphrey.
Brando. There we go. Yeah, I was going to say
Brando.
Marlon Brando came out of the grave.
Marlon Brando was physically capable of bending over toward the end, but
how great would that have been, though?
I don't think he's that funny. She was too much of a contender.
Doing Marlon Brando impressions all these years later. So, Kath and I continue to watch these magnificent shows that you're recommending. KB2. What do you got for us today, sister?
I'm kind of intrigued by this. There are rumors that Dan and Eugene Levy are going to host the Emmys.
Oh, they are?
Yes. Well, they've been offered. So reportedly they're working on it behind the scenes. But I actually think that that's an interesting combination for a host. Something that might draw viewers, something that's like outside of like, okay, it's a late night host. You know what you're going to get. Maybe they'll bring something different to the table. I don't know.
Robert, what do you think?
AI Lucille Ball. Let's do it.
Oh, I like it.
I'm wearing my Lucille Ball shirt today.
Oh my God,
nice.
look at that.
Yeah, my husband just performed at the Lucille Ball Comedy Festival. You guys know that he plays Ricky Ricardo. So yeah, he brought me a shirt back from the weekend. He was in Jamestown.
So did he behave the whole time he was gone?
I'm pretty sure he did.
He
was busy. He was busy. He was dressed as Ricky Ricardo. They had him at like appearances. They did several shows. He and the Lucy and the Fred and the Ethel. So they were busy.
If he does it again, can I play William Frawley?
Yes. You're going to play William Frawley, but not William Frawley as Fred. Is that correct?
Yeah, I don't know. I loved it. That's all I know. One of my favorite lines in the history of that show, the Lucille Ball show. I love Lucy.
Well, you should come to the Lucille Ball Comedy Festival next year.
I should.
I think you would really enjoy it.
But William Frawley's talking to his wife, and she goes on and on about, when I met him, my husband, I have to be honest with you, in my neighborhood, all the boys were buzzing around me like bees. Pause. And he says, how come I'm the one that got stung? Now that's a great line.
Cute.
That's a wonderful line, I think. William Frawley was great. I loved him.
There was that movie that what's his name did with Amazon where Nicole Kidman played Lucille Ball.
Oh yeah.
Javier Bardem.
Yeah, such a great. And then J.K. Simmons played that guy. I know it got knocked for like being about Lucille Ball but not being funny, but I thought it was really good.
Oh, I think Lucille Ball show was hilarious. It just, it mixed cultures. Back in those days, that was a bitch to pull off, mixing cultures like that, but it all worked out in the end.
Sorkin, that's what it was. Aaron Sorkin.
Aaron Sorkin, yeah.
Yeah, and the fact that so many of the ideas that were put into place on the I Love Lucy show, we still use them here in Hollywood. That's what I think is amazing. Multi-camera sitcoms, reruns, things like that. Moving the show to film in Los Angeles, because at the time shows were filmed in New York City. And it's amazing that the two of them together really changed the face of Hollywood in many ways.
And Buster Keaton actually helped out too with like the physical gags and stuff, because apparently they had to, because it was a mixed race couple, the studio wasn't keen on giving them a show, so they had to have like a traveling road show first.
Oh, sure.
And that's where Buster kind of stepped in, because he had grown up in the theater, and that was back when you could like abuse a kid, like just throw him across the stage and everything.
Right.
And so he just still brilliant, but after he I forget whatever the steamboat or the train or something, where they gave him like too much creative control, and even though it's widely regarded as one of the best films of all time, it wasn't critically well received at the time, and so he lost a lot of creative control and became basically a bit player for the studio. But it's still Buster Keaton. And he helped out Lucille Ball and Ricky with some of their stage stuff to help hone that act, which helped get them the television show.
I love that stuff. I mean, the history of, well, first of all, it just popped in my head when you were talking. And Kristen, I think you and I have talked about this before, that Lucy called a meeting of everyone on the show. She was very upset because the ratings one week dropped down by a couple of points, and she didn't like that at all. And she was talking to me. She goes, look, we've lost a couple of points, and I will not put up with this. We got to do something. This is terrible. We're down to a 60 share.
You'd kill for a 60 share now.
Well, in fairness, there were only 2 channels.
Well, yeah.
The other one was at 40.
Yeah, the other one had 40. That's right.
You should have Bill on sometime, because he's got like so many great stories about playing Ricky Ricardo.
Anytime.
For sure.
I would love to do that.
He's got a lot of great stories, and he's done it in so many different versions, because he's played Desi Arnaz and he's played Ricky Ricardo, which, you know, are clearly two. One's a character, one's a real life person, but he's had a lot of history with the family and the show and everything else.
I got to talk to him in advance, though, because when he comes on, I want him to look at his wife and go, Lucy, you can't do the show. And then just, I think
he does not do that accent for me very often. So
but he does not. I bet you're right.
He doesn't. And we don't carry. It doesn't carry over to our married life. But yeah,
Nice.
I've heard him do it a million times.
Oh, I suppose. I mean, he's done, how many years has he been doing that now? It's a long time.
I want to say over a decade, because when I met him, he was doing the musical version. They did I Love Lucy live on stage, where they actually licensed a couple of episodes from CBS and did them live on stage. And that was the LA production, I think, ran maybe about a year. And then there was the Chicago production that he did that ran 9 months. And then he did the first national tour, which was a year. So, and then he's done a radio play as Desi Arnaz. And then he's done the Jamestown Comedy Festival. And then he's done other private events.
So does he do the Babalu thing? I love the Babalu.
He does Babalu really well.
I love Babalu.
Yeah. I have video of it. I'll send it to you.
I actually headlined the Jonestown Comedy Festival.
Oh, you did? How'd that
years ago?
Did you drink the Kool-Aid?
Oh, man.
You killed literally.
Yeah. Sorry, that was stupid, but I
No,
wanted
it's
to get it
not.
off. Yeah, whatever.
It was wonderful, I thought.
Thank you. I headline Acme.
Have you been to Jamestown, Robert?
No.
Yeah, they've got a beautiful facility, and they have the comedy museum is there now too, that they opened up in the past few years. So
cool.
Yeah.
There was I through my buddy Ali Sultan, another comedian, very funny. It's since closed, but in Aurora, Illinois, they had the Comedy Shrine, and it had stand-up improv, and then evidently it was on MeTV's thing, but they have like the largest comedy, like toys, albums, all that kind of thing, with you just like little niche, like from Ghostbuster figurines to like some, Rodney Dangerfield Pez dispenser or something. And yeah, it was bonkers. It was really cool.
Unbelievable. So Catherine and I are, by the way, I want to thank our listeners to this show and the family show, because they're recommending movie after movie after movie. Every one of them we watched so far, and there have been 6 of them now, I think, have been really, really good. The recommendations are still coming in, and thank you, folks, because my God, I had never seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh my God.
I had never seen it.
I can't believe that. That to me, that is such an 80s like iconic movie.
Well, some of us had to work all the time. It's not like
You never went to the movies.
Never had.
The entire decade. You're like, I didn't go. Didn't see Top Gun. Didn't see Ferris Bueller.
Last year or 2 years ago, for the first time, because it was, and I mean, I was born in '86, so a lot of that, like Caddyshack, like I didn't see a lot of. I mean, I saw that, but like a lot of the '80s movies were kind of before my time, so I really didn't. So I'm like, okay, well, let me do a deep dive. And I will say that St. Elmo's Fire does not age well.
Okay,
it's like the Brad Pitt, but like you watch it and you're like, oh, that's not good at all. Like there's a scene where Rob Lowe is basically trying to rape Demi Moore, and then you're just like, okay, well she's clearly not into it, Rob. Like I don't know. And then Emilio Estevez is basically just stalking Andy McDowell the whole time, and then like shows up to this cabin that she's at and like forces a kiss on her and then like wins her over. And you're like, 80s, man, different time, I guess. But this,
it's so funny that you mentioned St. Elmo's Fire, because Rob Lowe, who's been doing a lot of press right now for Unstable, has revealed that they are working on a St. Elmo's Fire sequel.
Really?
And they hope to have it up and running like into like pre-production within the next like 6 months or so, which I think is really interesting. But if you listen to his son, John Owen is hilarious, by the way, because he roasts Rob Lowe nonstop. But he's like, my dad thinks he looks best in that movie. So, and he goes, I haven't watched the whole thing, and it bugs him because he's like, this is when I was looking my most handsome. And but his son has been rocking like the St. Elmo's Fire earring. Did you see that? You know how he wears that little like
I haven't seen the son, but I agree. He's gorgeous in the movie. Like
he's
I'm not
pretty in the movie.
That. Pretty.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we just disagree on how he looks then, I guess. Like I'm not gonna okay, you're free to
I thought Rob Lowe was always like a pretty boy.
That's
But anyway, so we'll see if the St. Elmo's Fire, and maybe they can do a little bit better than like rapey stalking scenes.
I watched American Graffiti with my daughter last year. She was 20, I suppose. There's a scene where Harrison Ford and Mackenzie Phillips are in his car.
Right.
And
Yep.
she's like, I want to keep driving around. Otherwise, I'm going to tell your parents you tried to rape me. There's it's like, I can't believe that I had forgotten about that. I saw that movie when it came out.
Manhattan. Have you seen Manhattan, the Woody Allen movie Manhattan?
Yep.
The whole movie is just him dating a 16-year-old. He like brings her to dinners with adult couples, and like he's joking about like, well, I hope the cops don't find out. And you're like,
because that was his real life anyway.
Well, that's like, I think it's like the R. Kelly thing of like hiding in real life. But just the way that like everybody accepts, like, and it's shot well, it's iconic, some of the scenes and stuff. But like, at no point is it like his love interest is maybe she's 17, but like still clearly a teenager, still in school, and that's his romantic interest. I mean, I guess there's a subplot with Diane Keaton where it doesn't work out because she is independent and wants to do her own thing, and Woody kind of likes. The other, just
Mariel Hemingway. I believe.
Mariel. Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah, unbelievable. All right, sister, we got another minute to go. What should we be watching?
I think that everyone should be watching the closing ceremony. You're getting Tom Cruise, and now reportedly, not confirmed, Taylor Swift. Because remember, this is the handoff between Paris and LA. So you have to get like the biggest superstars. So besides Tom Cruise, like skydiving into the stadium, if that wasn't enough, reportedly they're getting Taylor Swift, and she just happens to be in Europe on her tour, of course, and just happens to have that date off. So I think that's going to be pretty big.
Which French celebrity is going? Is Gerard Depardieu?
Yeah,
because I'm French, so I'm wondering which French celebrity is going to symbolically
Baril.
give. Yeah.
Well, the handoff actually goes between the mayors. The mayor of Paris hands it off to our mayor here, Karen Bass. They hand off the flag, so that's the actual symbolic how they do it. But reportedly, Tom Cruise is going to take the flag over to the Hollywood sign, and he filmed this ahead of time. They pre-recorded it back in March. So, and then he hands off the flag to a bunch of different athletes who go throughout LA and our lovely scenery compared to like the Eiffel Tower and the Louvre. I don't know.
So does Taylor Swift, like, is she singing the background music to this, or is he taking her private jet over to LA.
She would actually, if she does sing, she's just doing her own song, kind of like Lady Gaga and Celine Dion did in the opening ceremony.
So my last question, isn't she about a foot taller than he is?
Oh, at least.
I think everybody's a foot taller.
Taylor Swift. Yeah, God, Tom Cruise is 5'7". He wears lifts in his shoes, but I don't think Taylor and Tom Cruise would actually have any type of interaction. I think his stunts are separate from her performance.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
So we'll talk.
Tom, and I just want to say, this was Tom's idea, by the way, too, to insert himself into the closing ceremony, which is so Tom Cruise.
What a shock. You're absolutely right. All right, sister. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right. See you tomorrow.
Krista Burt, ladies and gentlemen. Entertainment news brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. That's going to do it for this show. But we got Dougie. We got Robert. Catherine's not here yet. Andy's here. I saw him out there. But we'll be back with the family show in about 10 minutes.